welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the care and husbandry as well as building an enclosure and rehousing Poecilotheria Regalis. As you can see, there's two enclosures behind me. This enclosure right now contains our Poecilotheria Regalis, and right here is where we're going to be moving our Poecilotheria Regalis. The tank is a little bit dirty, so the first thing I'm going to do is clean it up. Now that I'm cleaning the tank and preparing it for the enclosure, I think it'll make a great time to talk about this species and their care requirements. Poecilotheria regalis, or the Indian ghost ornamental tarantula, as you might be able to tell by the common name, is found in India. More specifically, this species is found in very hot and humid forests in southeastern India. They're more likely more spread throughout southeastern India, but this is where reported sightings are. This is an Old World arboreal species, arboreal meaning tree-dwelling, and Old World meaning anywhere in the world except for North and South America. That would be Asia, Africa, Europe, and Australia. Like most arboreal species of tarantula, in the wild, this species makes their home midway up in holes in trees. And like most old world tarantulas, they have a very, very sour bite and are very keen to threat pose and slap. Tarantulas from the Poecilotheria genus, such as this one, Poecilotheria regalis, are commonly referred to as pokies because their genus can be a little bit hard to pronounce or spell. Pokies such as Poecilotheria regalis, Poecilotheria ornata, Poecilotheria metallica, and many more are known for their speed, defensiveness, and very sour bite. And above all other things, the Poecilotheria genus, or pokies, are definitely most known for the yellow coloration on the underside of their front legs. As I previously mentioned, this tarantula has very sour venom. Although bites from tarantulas are very uncommon, even from very defensive species like this, it does happen sometimes, usually by keepers and not in the wild. You should never put your hands near a tarantula, especially one with medically significant venom such as this one. You should never try and hold your tarantulas for their safety and your own. Although tarantulas might seem scary to some people, they're very fragile, skittish animals. What they want to do is hide and run away as much as possible, and if you were to hold them, they would most likely bolt or try and look for a place to hide, and if they didn't, they would still be feeling very stressed. Tarantulas are very bolty and unpredictable, and if one were to get away in your house, you never know how long it could live, and one that's very venomous like this could endanger your kids, other people living in the house, or even pets. Typically, all old world tarantula bites can be very, very bad and very painful, but this species is definitely up there on the list. Any small to medium-sized dog or a cat in the house likely wouldn't survive a bite from this species, and the pain from it on a human has been described as leaving your hand in a searing hot grill and putting it into a toad of acid. Along with the stinging and burning sensation, there's also muscle spasms, swelling, severe itching, joint pains, and this can last for up to weeks. There was even a bite report where there is a temporary loss of vision. Although this seems bad enough, that's not to account for any allergic reactions, or if you're elderly or a kid, many things could go bad. However, they don't want to bite or use any venom. Sometimes they don't when they bite. This is referred to as a dry bite. It's when a tarantula bites but doesn't inject any of their venom. This could be because the tarantula needs to defend itself but doesn't want to waste any venom. And the reason for this is because venom is crucial to the tarantula's survival. Like all tarantulas, the venom in this species is mostly made up of proteins and digestive enzymes. The sour neurotoxins in their venom is what paralyzes prey and causes muscle spasms for us, while the digestive enzymes attack the cellular matrix, cell membrane, and ion channels of whatever's bitten. This is what predigests or liquidizes their prey before they suck it up and gain the nutrients from it. Now that we've been over some of the care and husbandry, let's get into the rehouse. After looking on the back of the enclosure, I can see where the tarantula is, and I try and prod with a plastic straw. But I know it's going to be a little hard, so I start taking things out. Piece by piece, I take things out until eventually you can see webbing and the slight shape of a tunnel. And as I take this last piece out, you can see the toes start to poke out. This tarantula is in premolt and it has a very large abdomen, but it can still be very, very fast and bolty. All tarantulas, but specifically Poecilotheria genus tarantulas, are usually very fast. As you can see, I poke and prod with my straw here to try and get the tarantula. It's more flat on the glass to use my catch cup, but poking obviously just causes a threat post. As you can see, I cut the camera really quickly and I did it to take this picture, but right after the tarantula bolted. Oftentimes tapping on a defensive tarantula will cause it to turn that way, so I decided that tapping on the side would be best to turn it to be more flat on the glass or ground. As I start getting the tarantula in a good position, I bring in the catch cup, but as I put it down in the enclosure, it just scares the tarantula. After the struggle of trying to get this tarantula flat on the glass with no threat posing, I finally caught it in the catch cup. But now there's the matter of getting it off the glass and onto the container. As you can see, for a while I tried moving the container, but it doesn't really end up working. The tarantula just won't leave the glass. It'll just move wherever I move the container. So I decided that I'll get some rock and I'll hold the container up because I have to move my hand so I can go grab a straw to poke it with. Now that I have the straw, I peek open the top of the container and I start prodding at the tarantula's front legs, trying not to get to threat pose and trying to get it onto the walls, but as you've seen before, it can be really hard with this species. However, it's slightly hidden behind the rocks. It does happen really well. Of course, next I have to bring in the lid and remove the rocks. As you can see, once again, I just peek open the top of the container and slide the lid down. In order to not spook the tarantula, I place a piece of wood behind the container so I can gently rest it down on top of it. I then use another piece of wood to slowly hoist it down. After taking a couple photos with the macro lens, I replaced the lid on. I thought I was recording a nice time lapse, but apparently I missed the record button. Here you can see I added a pothos vine. I also have a smaller plant which I forgot the specific name to. There I have a spider plant, and then I have a nice hide here with an entrance there, an entrance there, big entrance there, and a nice crack down the middle, which all could be webbed up very nicely. And then over here is a nice thick forested area. Now, as you can see, I have Poecilotheria Regalis right there. However, I want it over here so I can just open these and get them out of there. So what I want to do is get my usual plastic straw, and then I'm going to gently poke through this ventilation. Seems to be a little bit too big. I'm gently going to blow through this ventilation hole. Wow, there you go. The tarantula's running around and he finally stopped running right where we don't want him. It shouldn't be too hard. There you go. And now he's absolutely right where we want him. Although he could bolt and run out of the enclosure right here. As you can see, this is the very edge. All right, there you go. Open that up. Now we do have the full ability to take the lid off. So we're just gonna do that now. And there she is. What a beautiful tarantula. Now I'm not 100% sure that this girl is a female, but most tarantulas are called that until you know they're not. tap her foot and get ready for a bolt. Or not. After about a month, a tarantula molted, and this is the enclosure it's in now. Here's the molt. Although I said both in this video, the tarantula did end up maturing out in this molt, and it was female. Now enjoy a few clips of the way larger post-molt Poecilotheria Regalis.